But as we looked at this, we kind of thought about three big problems. And where on this map are those big problems?
Yeah, four obstacles.
Four. Okay, four big obstacles that we are encountering as we dream. Okay, yeah. So first is we have to get on the map. We have to be something attractive to students and families and the Ghanaian system. Second big obstacle is, of course, we've got to raise a bunch of capital to hire teachers and buy land and build a greenhouse if that's what we're going to do. Third big obstacle to overcome is find a passionate founder. We have the founders of Kings Village, but they're already running a whole lot of stuff. And the fourth is there's already free high schools that students can go to, but they're not breaking the cycle of poverty because the kids, they go to high schools, they get their diploma, but not as many can afford college. And if they do afford college, there's no jobs. So we then came up with 5 bold steps that we're going to do in the next 3 months. Take me to that.
Okay.
And there we go. And that is, first, we're setting up a weekly meeting cadence to discuss this mission and vision. Second, we're sharing this vision and enlisting the support of our primary stakeholders, which include the Board of Trustees and local folks, the staff of Kings Village. Well, this has been a weekend of vision and dreaming that they weren't at. So, of course, we now need to, and you'll know this a lot, Marty, because we read your book. And you begin having all these visions, but your COO, your right-hand man, he had to come alongside. You had to talk him into it. So you know about step 2 pretty strongly. Step 3 is confirm the school concept. This is validating the whole concept. Is this going to be something the community rallies behind? And before we launch on a 2-year plan to spend all this money to build a high school, is that even something that they want? And that's kind of what your poverty spotlight approach does too, is
will it meet their needs?
Do the people themselves define this as a need? Number 4, secure the help of expert organizations like the Paraguay Foundation, who have launched high schools like this before. And we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to make all the mistakes you don't need to make. We would love to enlist the help of people who've gone before. And at the same time, people who are local experts in Ghanaian educational systems. We need to get someone on the ground. So those are our 5 bold steps that we're going to try in the next 3 months. And we want to turn it over to you for questions and also to tell us a little of the story of when you launched the high school in Paraguay, and then when you helped the other folks launch the high school in Nicaragua.
Maybe stop sharing.
So take it away.
Well, what a beautiful vision. What a beautiful, beautiful vision. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. So congratulations. And every single thing you mentioned is possible, feasible, has already been done. So that's the good news. I'll just tell you, we just turned 20 years old with our own agricultural high school. Okay, in these past 20 years, our agricultural high school has generated more than $7 million.
Wow.
These are the poorest Paraguayan, Ghanaians, South Africans, the same. And the school budget is $700,000 a year, which is 100% generated on campus through 25 educational income generating activities. Okay. Some are more profitable than others. There's always something that fails and somebody has to double their output to make up. you're going to lose 50% of your staff because they're going to say, no, I demand that you pay me money without any accountability. You know, that kind of, I only teach agriculture, but don't ask me to make a profit, or etc. You're going to find a lot of people that are not going to go with this because they're used to this dependency model. But the good news is that we can move really, because since you have done 99% of the work already with what you just showed me, we can move really fast in establishing this. The first thing that I would like to offer is invite you to come to Paraguay. And in 1 week, it's a ticket, and in 1 week you are going to take it with you in your backpack, in your iPhone. So I would like to extend this invitation for you to come. We own 3 schools in Paraguay. One is a formal technical vocational high school. The other one is only a technical vocational school for high school dropouts. And the third one is a school only for girls. So it's 150. Both the 3 of them are residency schools, so they people live in there, which is more expensive than having kids come and go, but you have the advantage that you can instill a culture. So first step, invitation for you to come anytime. Of course, by definition, the school is open 365 days a year because somebody has to milk the cows and water the vegetables. So you have kids on Christmas days on the school campus. They get to go to Easter earlier, and then they get to stay for Christmas. And there's a rotation of both adults and kids. The first thing we did, well, I'll tell you the story just for those of you who don't know. 21 years ago, I was approached by a Catholic priest from the La Salle Christian Brothers, who owned this school. And they said, we have been observing what you do, and we would like to gift you our school for 2 reasons. One is that the government is not giving us the subsidies that they had promised, and we can't pay the teacher salaries. But the second is that we went to the interior last week, and we saw a graduate of ours selling stuff, candy in the street. And we said, Juan, what are you doing here? He says, well, I'm trying to make a living. But you went to 3 years to our high school. Yeah, but where am I going to get the money to buy the milk cow, or to buy the equipment, or to buy the motorcycle to transport the milk, or So we realized, Martin, they told me, that it is not enough to teach how to grow tomatoes. The key is how to make money with the tomatoes. That is the key. So it's a whole bunch of business and entrepreneurship and financial literacy with technical vocational. That is where all the educational systems of the world fail, because educators don't know / don't understand the need of young men and women to make a living. And so the reason we want to gift you the school is because you have a microfinance program and a youth entrepreneurship education program. That is what young farmers in Paraguay need. So we took the school. We were very scared. This was never been done. We took the school, 65 hectares, buildings in disrepair, hungry cows, soil that has been abused, lack of imagination. And the first thing we did was to do a educational business plan. which is something that we need to put in your PowerPoint presentation. We need to find out the curriculum that we're going to teach. Is this going to be an elementary school or a high school? If it's an elementary school, it's going to be a problem because you cannot have a 7-year-old or an 11-year-old in the vegetable garden. The International Labor Organization, ILO, accepts technical vocational education from 15 years above. Right, so you can have a formal TVET, technical vocational education program. Then you're not going to get into this child labor stuff problems. And it is considered child labor only if the work is not too heavy for the bodies, and second, if it does not prevent students from studying. Having said that, there are many technical vocational high schools in the world, and we can just model after that. In fact, there is even a organization called UNIVOC out of the United Nations based in Bonn, Germany, which specializes in technical vocational education. So let's say that we decide on a technical vocational education. The second, high school. The second thing we need to do is establish the curriculum and how much is it going to cost us to deliver those classes? How many professors and what kind of equipment and infrastructure those classes, chemistry, history, animal husbandry, agriculture, beekeeping. What is the curriculum that we are going to, And by definition, a technical vocational school is project-based learning or learning by doing. So you're going to have, if you're going to be teaching beekeeping, you will need a bulletin board or a blackboard where you will teach the theory, and then you're going to have the boxes somewhere where you will be having the bees. And then
the banana tree.
And then you will need to have the equipment to go and harvest the honey, bring it to a place, put it in a package, a bottle, a jar, a little label. Where are you going to keep it? And who is going to buy your honey and at what price and with what margin for you? All this is very standard and can be done with local people in Ghana. Okay? So having said that, at the same time that we are establishing that we want to teach beekeeping, who's going to be the teacher? And what's the name of the supermarket who's going to buy your honey?
Yes.
Identify your market, your buyer, how many jars, in what capacity, in a box, when, how is he going to pay you, the whole thing. And you start both from the supply and also from the demand. And you develop one business, the beekeeping. I'm just using the same example until you get the kinks out, okay? The first step is for the beekeeping course to be self-sufficient. That is, to generate enough profit to pay for the professor and for the refrigerator and for that unit needs to be have a surplus, right? It's break even and then a surplus. We can do that. It'll depend on whether you have a good professor or not, or whether that is something, but you need 3 pillars. 100% employability of your graduates through a curriculum that is 100% market-based, and an operation that is 100% self-sufficient.
All right, can you do those again, because we're typing?
How am I supposed to remember that? 100% employability through 100% market-based curriculum through 100% self-sufficiency. So once you do that, you start building other income generating educational blocks until you craft something that is appropriate to the supermarkets that are going to pay you, you know? So distance from the market is key. Transportation is key. Refrigeration is key, etc. The key, of course, is to produce expensive stuff for the city. And you will find that there are some income generating activities that only break even. You know, for example, lettuce. You know, how much money can you buy lettuce unless you have a very big lettuce operation? The key, of course, is to sell salads, right? And value add. So once you develop the B and you get a good market, you go roam around the supermarkets. And then you see, and you ask the manager, what else do you need? You know, can I supply you with the tomatoes or the potatoes or the cassava and you start building your operation 100% based on the market. Because you have two objectives. One is to produce employable graduates. They need to know that their obsession has to be market, okay? Not theory, as is the typical Latin American or African sense. And the second is to cover your costs, right? So, and then we build from there. What we have added to the original learning by doing theory is two more concepts: learning by doing, selling, and making money. When I mentioned that to the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Education in Paraguay, they went into shock, as if I had mentioned the biggest vulgarity. You are going to teach the students how to make money? That's worse than sex education.
Wow.
Schools are for the humanity, you know what I mean? So of course, students love money. Students' parents love money even more. So once you produce money, you're going to be popular, and eventually you're going to win. And so, as you can see, in just one operation that is honey, you can have the whole arch of classroom, practice, sale, accounting, business model, business plans, financing, human resources, technical equipment, etc. And so we can build it from there, but we have to be obsessive about the market.
And what interesting thing I'm hearing you say is, with your beekeeping example, you're saying start with one thing that you have a very strong instinct there is a market for, which also meets the criteria that it has enough margin.
Or a business one.
Yeah. So we were thinking of starting maybe with two things, but maybe it's better if we start with just one thing: sheep or corn or whatever is that one thing.
Right. And because it's going to teach you the whole arch of, you know, the at the end of the year, how much money are you going to put in? How much money is it going to cost you? And how much money are you going to make? In the first year, you will cover 15% of the professor's salary. In the second year, maybe you go to 50, and then you make a 5-year plan like that. But you have to, and we can show you how to create this educational business plan where the classrooms, where the courses are integrated into the the way our school operates is we have 150 kids from from high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade equivalent in the US, 15 to 18-year-old. Everybody gets up early in the morning. At the bell rings. It used to be run by priests, so there's a bell. So the bell rings at 5:45. At 6 in the morning, everybody shows up at the steps of the chapel. Okay, and everybody is everybody here? You know, the whole administrative thing. And from 6 to 7, all the 150 kids sweep and mop and clean the school. Everybody. So at 7 in the morning, the school is perfectly clean and everybody goes to breakfast. At 7:30, 50% of each class goes to the classroom. And the other 50% go to the productive units. Some go to the animals, some go to the forestry, some go to the vegetable garden, some go to the cheese factory, and some go to the rural hotel. And they stay there for a week under the supervision of a senior high school student and a professor. All the businesses are run by professors. Okay, it's the professor's responsibility. Don't give the responsibility to a 16-year-old girl. It's the professor. The beekeeping professor is in charge of his unit. And you know, and that's what I said. Some beekeeping professors will refuse to work with a Excel sheet on producing a profit. And they're going to say, it's impossible. No, it's not impossible. But I'm going to need 100 boxes. Well, yes. It's not a hobby. This is not a little. No, this is a business. And that is where the education comes in. The student realizes with 3 boxes, with 3 hives, it's a hobby. No, you need to have 15, 30. You know, and people are going to come and steal the boxes. They're going to come and steal the bees. You know, the whole thing, you know. So, but you have to, you know, just like, you know, your triangle is perfect, you know, start with that. So you need a business plan what integrates, it's like a business plan. We integrate the classrooms there, and then we have an annual budget, and then we have daily performance reports. Daily, everybody, what's going on, you know, and check, you know, everything is taken care of. And it's the most beautiful activity in the world. There is nothing in the world than to see a girl figure it out. And he says, okay. That's how I'm going to make $1,000 a month. I can see my life. I love bees. Bees love me. This is my thing. Or you're going to see a girl. You're going to see a girl who thought she liked bees. And the first week she said, you know what? No. So it's not for her, right? She says, I'd rather do radishes and tomatoes. Perfect. So it's a very beautiful activity.
What's the one thing you started with when you first started? Was it bees or was it chickens?
No. We had a bankrupt agricultural school. There was a money-losing vegetable garden, a money-losing chicken coop, a money-losing milk cow operation. Everything lost money because the professors were teachers, you know? And okay, so who are you? I'm John, and I am in charge of our chicken coop. Okay, fine. And how many chickens do you have? We have 24. And I said, and what does anybody learn with 24 chickens? No. This is a demonstration. I said, no. What do you demonstrate with a demonstration chicken coop? Well, no, there's not. You cannot learn there. How much do you make? Well, I make $400 a month. Okay. Would you like to make $600 a month? Yeah. Okay. I give you a raise right now. Really? Okay. But you earn it through the chicken coop. Oh no, why not? That's going to be a big chicken coop. Like how big? I'm going to have 1,500 chicken. Yeah, well, that's a lot of work. So you want to work, you want to make $600, but you want to have a little play chicken coop. No. So he left. We brought somebody else, and she said, okay, I'm going to do it. Same thing for everything, same thing. The profit is beautiful, profit is beautiful. Money is beautiful. It puts people in their place. And we have good our school, as I mentioned, makes $700,000 a year. We have 40 adults at the school. The teachers, the whole thing. And we comply with the Ministry of Education. One of the things that we did is we started as an agricultural school, but in our despair to make money, we saw an old building that it used to be a dorm, and we said, why don't we turn it into a rural hotel? And just have people come over here. They love to visit the farm, and it's a beautiful thing to go to a farm, right? You see, just to walk around. And so we started having a hotel, and students loved it. And so they said, I came with the idea, why don't we have, in addition to a technical, vocational, agricultural degree, why don't we have a hotel and rural tourism high school technical vocational degree? Because our objective is 100% employability. We don't care if our student is going to become a police officer, a tourist guide. No, 100% employability. What we found later is that 100% employability became 90% college attendance. They fall in love with learning. So we developed, and I got together with all the students, and I said, okay, raise your hand who wants to do the new technical vocational high school degree. Everybody, 150 kids raised their hands. And I said, well, who's going to do the old agricultural? 150 students raised their hands. And I said, wait, buddy, you're going to have to take 15 additional classes. No problem. You can, but there's only 7 days a week, 7 days in a week. We're going to do it. Give us classes in the night and on Saturdays. So the Paraguay government requires 180 days of class a year. And we teach 220 a year, and kids love it. Kids love it. They kill themselves studying and working. They graduate with 2 high school degrees, and our graduation ceremony is as follows. John Williams, he is from such and such a village. He receives a high school degree in agriculture. He receives a high school degree in hotel and rural management. He, in order to graduate, his thesis was a business plan on goat milk, and he gets a micro loan of $10,000.
Wow.
I know. The parents go, what? My kid? Yeah, because they have to. So that's basically it, Trevor and friends. We can change Ghana. We can change the world. It's one school at a time. I can just see some educators say, no, it's impossible. It can't be done. No, and it can be done, and it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So inspiring. Marion or Ben, any questions you want to ask?
Could you, Martin, I just wanted to find out now what products are you managing in the school? Can you mention a few of them?
The businesses?
I heard about bees and. Okay,
so we have an organic vegetable garden that is 3 hectares. Okay, and it only gives us a profit of $5,000 a year. It's a
Okay,
lot of work. We have some construction there. We do have automatic watering and irrigation system, and
Right.
we have 60 types of vegetables.
60 times.
Yeah, because you need to have a whole bunch of seeds germinating, ready, and in 3 months you're going to be harvesting the tomatoes. You're going to bring in the lettuce. You're going to bring in the radishes. You're going to it's you know, it's the difference between a hobby vegetable garden and a real vegetable garden. It takes system planning, etc. There are people in Ghana who know how to do that, but it has to be directed and led by the prophet, or else you're going to produce stuff that is going to be very expensive and will only bring you tears. Then we have crops. We have cassava, we have corn, we have hemp, we have then we have reforestation. We have eucalyptus plantation of about 50 hectares, 40 hectares. And we have it sparsely, we have enough space underneath with grass underneath, so we can have our pasture for our cows and for our goats. Okay, so that until we, you know, eucalyptus or any forestry plantation, it takes 10 years, right?
Yeah.
You plant them, and in 3 years you first harvest. With that money, you already pay for the initial investment, but then you have to take care. And of course, you have to be very careful with the idiots living around the school who like to burn their trash, because they can create a forest fire and kill your plantation. So there's a whole bunch of things there. Then we have cows, milk cows. We have goat milk. We have chicken. We have fish, fish ponds. We have a cheese factory. We have a good cheese factory that has a very good price in the market. And then we have the hotel. And of course, the key is that every business in the school has their own business. So the milk, the dairy farm has a budget, and they sell to the outside, to the supermarket, or to the school. The school pays for market prices. So there is not internal subsidies, okay? So in the school, you have income generating educational units that break even, have a surplus, and that surplus covers the cost of the losing units. Chemistry doesn't produce any money. The school cafeteria doesn't produce any money. The dorm doesn't produce anyone. You know, do you understand? And that's basically
the same. Okay.
And then the hotel is a big consumer of our eggs, but the poultry unit is free to sell it at the best client, because or else you get into a whole bunch of perverse incentives. For example, the first meeting I had with my staff, they said, how are you doing? I was going, and then the guy with the vegetable garden said, excuse me, why is the depreciation of the tractor only charged to me and not evenly to all the school? The hotel says, I don't use the tractor. The forestry says, I don't use the tractor. Oh, I'm the only idiot using a tractor. I don't need a tractor. I can just rent it from the community. Okay. So if the whole school was going to pay for your tractor, you were going to be the happy farmer with a tractor. But if you have to pay it, because the depreciation costs us $7,000 a year. So the accounting is very important also. So we are the only agricultural school in the world with a tractor, because it is cheaper to rent a tractor from the community than to have an expensive thing that you have to depreciate in your accounting system. That's just one example.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I just want to give Marion a chance. Do you have any quick question? And then I want to just talk about Dave and Z real quick before you have to go. Marion, are you able? Can you go off mute? Sorry, you're on mute.
There you
go. Yeah, it's fantastic what you've been doing. We were thinking of starting with a small of maybe 20 young people and then gradually building it up. What would your advice be in how to start a project from scratch?
Well, it depends on what infrastructure you have already. You know, if you have to build something from zero, you know, it's different than if you're going to be using existing infrastructure. And you're going to find out that you don't need that much infrastructure. Don't spend your money on the infrastructure. Spend money on the businesses and build the educational system around the businesses. And the businesses are the units that really give life to and the students love it. The students love it. Of course, you need leadership. Of course, you need educators. Of course, you need, you know, these are high school kids like in any city in the world, you know. They fall asleep and they have a hard time waking up in the morning. They fall in love. They want to go home. They get off campus without telling anybody where they are. You know, the boys, of course, when the priests gave us the school, it was an all boys school. So the first thing I did was to incorporate girls. And the priest said, it's very complicated. And I said, what part is complicated? No, that's a whole, no, you know what? It's not. Okay. You have dorm for girls and a dorm for boys. Dorm, you know, this and that. And in case when the girls came into the school, it changed the dynamic because girls at age 15 are much more mature than boys. And they immediately took the leadership in the school and this and that. It was really interesting. The boys started using deodorant. They started shaving. They started, you know. But the problem was that you would see a whole bunch of boys moping around the campus until one woman fell victim to that. What's your problem? Oh, nothing. But tell me. No, nothing. Tell me. I don't know how to iron my shirt. Give me a shirt. And that is. So you have a whole bunch of cultural things there, but it's just that's the way it is.
Yeah. So thank you. You know, we have this interesting situation here in South Africa where Dave and Z have launched a Christian camping opportunity on the weekends for local schools to utilize. But then they've also launched a teen employment program. What's interesting about their situation is that there are zip lines and there are airplanes and hiking and kayaking, and there's an entire tourist industry sitting on top of an extremely poor rural setting. And, you know, I'm hearing possibilities for
how big is the community? We can do the stoplight. We can do the stoplight with each family of the community and also start from there. And also start. How many families are we talking about? Where is this place located?
Go ahead. It's in Drakensberg, South Africa, between Durban and Johannesburg, a little bit closer to Durban. And it's in the mountains and valleys, and it's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Right.
And the school has 700 children.
Is that KwaZulu Natal?
Yes, KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay, great.
Very
So-
close to Lesotho.
Okay, fantastic. What we can do is we can map the community. We can apply the poverty stoplight to each one of the 500 families. Every family would have this, and we could tailor the educational and the employment needs of the population to the market, to the tourism market. What do they, you know? So can we have a school that provides lodging, that provides food, that provides transportation, and in the process, the kids get educated. Some are going to like to produce the eggs. Some are going to like to become tourist guides. Some are going to like to produce the vegetable gardens. But we can do a custom, and we can have the first community in South Africa to be zero poverty in everything, market-based. Yeah, so we can do that. Yeah. Besides, the food around that place is so good that I could even go one day.
Yeah.
What's the poverty stoplight?
It's a methodology that we developed that helps each family to self-diagnose their level of poverty using a simple app. Using a simple app. Let me just show it to you here.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. I just needed a reference.
Yeah. So basically, what you have here, and every family goes like that, and I'm yellow in this, and I'm red in that, and green in that, and the family comes up and develops a dashboard, and then the role is to help each family to turn the yellows and reds into greens. And we have adapted it to South Africa. We have operations with our local partner in Joburg, Cape Town, and Durban. And so we have that already. And yeah, it's going to be fun. South Africa is a beautiful country. Ghana is a beautiful country. Let's do it.
All right. Well, Martin, we give you a big round of applause.
Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. So keep me posted. Let's do it. Let's do it. And as I mentioned, we would love to learn also from what you guys do. I mean, the tourism and the safari industry in South Africa is so advanced. We would love to have that. So we have a lot to learn also. And how you can incorporate local customs, the dancing and the you know, to the attraction, and how we can monetize that in the good sense of the word. And but empower the people to take care of, you know, work with the families. We can help you do that.
Well, wonderful. So we're going to consider some action steps. So one is we'll start dreaming about a trip to Paraguay. That seems like something to dream about. Second is perhaps a month from now, we could organize another Zoom call and tell you maybe 6 weeks from now where we are. And another action step is there it doesn't have to be you, but someone in your organization who might be available for some coaching every now and then?
Yes, of course we have. Of course we have that. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we have to get on a flight to the U.S. and back to Ghana. So, and you have many things to do today, but we have been inspired. We recorded this. So now Pastor Ben can play it for his board, and we will be right on our way.
Bye-bye, my friends. Have a good time, and see you soon.
All right. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Thank you.